Oh shit, my bad. Word. For what? Yeah. What's going on, team? Gonna give about another minute or two to join. Then we will get started. We'll be going over the pairs you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD/USD, finishing off with silver. Again, for today should be a pretty quick one. We'll go through it one by one, see what moves we made for the day. Before we get started, any questions? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything you guys want me to talk about? Let me know. I'm gonna start at the 1 minute mark on the stream. 1 minute 30 seconds. Get ready a few seconds here. No question in the chat, alright? Yo, make sure you guys like the stream as well, please. Press that like button. Yo, Kendo. What are you gonna meet up for, man? Alright, man, whatever. Alright, let's get started. So AU, we know we are in level 3 on a downtrend. We have level 1, first zone consolidation, level 2, second zone of consolidation, this huge area. Then we had the break of structure that gave us the confirmation to give us that third level. Right, so after the break, we were looking for a pullback. The pullback was given into the safety trade. Our safety trade is at the top of the zone of consolidation while on a downtrend. So now on the higher time frame, we don't have no continuations. We have a month to drop. Perfect. Would love to see this month give us that second push, but we could already see what price is kind of doing, giving us the pullback on the internal time frame. This could be price giving us lower lows, lower highs, right? So on the 4 hour time frame, looking at structure on the 4 hour, we had the lower low change of character, lower high. We have a weaker rise, no continuations. This is just a change of character. So again, this could still just be an inducement. The confirmation that I'm waiting for on AU to have the best entry, to know that price is going to give us that third push down to the bottom, is if and when price gives us that valid break of structure of the low. Right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low change of character, lower high. What I'm looking for is a break of structure to be given, right? Another lower low to be given to then start looking for our trades at the lower high. Does that mean that we can't look for entries up here? No, we definitely can. We 100% can start looking for entries. So what I'm looking for now in the 30-minute time frame, and as we go lower into the lower time frames, is looking at market structure. Same thing. Price is currently still giving us, right? So for last week, it gave us a change of character. Did it give us a valid break at the lows? No. So we already knew two things. We already knew that the shoulder head shoulder on the internal time frame was low probability. We knew that this wasn't going to be lower high into the lower lows, right? A lot of traders took these trades, right? Zone of consolidation. They think, oh, we have the break, right? This is what SRC teaches you. Smart Roger concepts, right? Breakout trades, where you have a zone of consolidation, breakout, you look for retest to continue to go lower, straight to stop loss. All the traders who took this and they were happy, oh, lower high, we're going into the lower lows. If you didn't move your stop loss at break even, straight to fucking stop loss, right? Or break even, right? So that's why we wait for the valid breaks to be given. And instead, price gave us another change of character to the top side that gave us a higher high point. So let's mark this up right here. Higher high and all the way to the top side. So we already have an area where we understand at these highs, price is either going to give us the inducement to go short, or it's going to give us another break to go a little bit higher. Right? We know that we're trading between these lows and those highs right now. So AU 30-minute time frame still has a little bit more. All right, why am I making this more difficult for myself? We had 2 days of rise. Today being the third day gave us a third day high. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Perfect. On the lower time frame, what is price giving us? Still trading between the same highs and lows on the lower time frame as on the 5 minute at least. On the 1 minute, we could get a little bit more mixy, but 1 minute structure, I would like to see the 5 minute, 30 minute start trending before I take trades on the 1 minute. But on the 1 minute, we have low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us higher high change of character. Then price gave us lower low change of character. We're trading between these highs and these lows. And price then gave us the change of character lower low. It gave us the break down here, and we're trading between these highs and these lows. So 1 minute time frame looks decent, but I wouldn't take the trade on the 1 minute up here. I would wait for either the 5 minute or the 30 minute. I'd either wait for an inducement of the high to then go short, or I'll wait for structure to clear out on the 5 minute time frame as well. So we'll be patient with AU, but it's definitely that pair that we want to keep an eye on. Euro AUD. All right, so I'm gonna also keep. Let me open up my Google Doc real quick so I could draw down the watch list. Let me open untitled document. There you go. And then this is 0409 watch list. AUD USD in safety trade area. Waiting for confirmation. All right. Again, any questions, just let me know, guys. Euro AUD daily time frame, right? This is one still on the daily time frame where could we say that we've completed the 3 pushes already? Push 1, push 2, push 3. This is peak high, right? It gave us the high. Didn't reach our previous peak highs up to where the wick was for this structure previously. But we could start seeing now that price looks like it wants to go down. The only thing I don't like about EA, which is what I'm waiting for the confirmation to tell me that we are on a downtrend, is the daily time frame. Daily time frame, we're still trading between these big areas, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Technically speaking, we are still making higher lows, right? Everything else going into the lower time frame, we have the change of character down to the downside, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then it gave us a change of character all the way down to the bottom. So 4-hour time frame, we're pretty much downtrending. We had 3 weeks of rise. On the third week, it was a rise drop. Doesn't look like price is going to give us that 4th week variation to the top side, which is telling me that the overall uptrend is not that strong right now, right? And we also had this exhaustion candle from last week that we kind of already knew, like, most likely not going to get that push, right? And then the lower time frame again, 30-minute, we're already making lower lows and lower highs. So let's mark this up the right way real quick. High, low, high, then gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high, gave us lower low, right? So lower low, lower high. Yeah, we'll mark it up this way. So we're trading between this low to keep it a little bit tighter. We'll mark it up this way. So we're trading between this lower high point and this lower low down here. And we had 2 days of drop. Today being the 3rd day, gave us a 3rd day low. Perfect. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go to the top side. EA will be patient with EA. Right, EA, and I'm gonna keep it on. I'm gonna keep it on for now. We'll see it tomorrow morning. EuroCAD, we are in peak high territory, right? We already reached our previous peak highs. We had push 1, push 2, push 3. Once again, what I'm waiting for here is a change of character, break of structure on the higher time frames. We already have the change on the daily. Price gave us a lower low. Again, pretty much just waiting to see where price wants to give us that lower high point. We also had on the 4-hour time frame, we had 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Right now, price looks like it wants to continue to push to the top side. Now, you say you have 3 weeks, and after 3 weeks, the market must chop or drop. Right. You also have gaps in the market. On the second week, you had a gap. At the end of the third week, going into this week, you had a gap in the market. Gaps in the market reset the trend. So you want to be super cautious with the gaps in the market as well, also when you're looking for the continuations. So again, as of right now, waiting to see the same thing on the 4-hour time frame. We had lower low, looking to see if this is going to be a lower high point. Now, how do you know when to get ready to trade a lower high point? So again, on the lower time frame, what am I looking for? At one point, we thought this was going to be the lower high point, right? Again, when we go up to the 4-hour time frame, right? At one point, you have people here thinking that, oh, we had a zone of consolidation, we had the break, lower low, lower high, right? How do you confirm that this is a strong lower high point? From the 4-hour, you go down to the 30. And what are you looking for? You're looking for the change of character. You're waiting for the break of structure. Same thing over and over again, right? You have all the traders who are trading this as, oh, it's a shoulder head shoulder. We're going to get in on the retest, and then price consolidates, go straight to stop loss. Every single time. It happened on ECAD. It happened on AU. It happened on GJ. It happened on US oil. On every single pair. Every single day is going to happen. So once again, what I'm waiting for is the change of character and the break of structure. Same thing that's happening up here. All these traders getting ready to trade the same bullshit, right? Shoulder head shoulder is the same thing that people are wanting to trade here. But what are you looking for? Change of character, lower high, break of structure, lower low. You get in at the lower high after the break to confirm that the trend has shifted. I don't think we have an extra one. I don't think so. Um, I'll look for it. I'll see if I have one. So yeah, guys, let me know if you need me to explain that again. Super simple stuff. Again, it's simple for me because, again, I understand I've been doing this for a very long time at this point, and I'm explaining the same thing over and over again every single stream, right? So I'm gonna mark this here on the 30-minute, even though I don't like it, right? Ideally, I wouldn't mark this as a higher high, higher low, higher high. I would mark this all as the same continuation to the top side, right? But I am going to mark this right now as a change of character down to the bottom. If I have to update this tomorrow, I will. But again, 30-minute time frame here, ideally, I wouldn't mark this up as higher high, higher low, lower low change of character. But we'll mark it up for now. So we know we're trading between this high and then these lows here, but I'll update this tomorrow morning. All right, we also have 2 days of rise. You also have a daily engulfing candle. Right, you have this engulfing candle here. Right, price tapped into that shit already, huh? So that's already the confirmations. Right, after you're in the engulfing candle, especially when it's like a daily time frame one, you look for those lower time frame confirmations. Daily engulfing. So once again, we'll be patient. What's good, Inferno? Check Discord when you're free. I got you, my brother. Explain that again. I'm confused. So you're just waiting for a confirmation to the downside or a trend shift? Correct. Right. Once again, on the daily time frame, right? It's just understanding market structure from the top to the bottom, right? So on the daily time frame, you see this, right? It's just huge moves, higher highs, higher lows, right? This is the daily time frame. So let's mark it up like this so you guys know, right? So yellow is the daily time frame. When you go from the daily time frame down to the 30-minute, you then have smaller moves, right? That huge higher high, higher low that you see is the market on the lower time frames, giving you higher highs and higher lows, lower highs, right? So let's just mark this up like this, right? And then we'll change this to red so you know that that's the 30-minute, right? So the question is, and this is inverse, well, I will mark it, it's the same thing vice versa, meaning higher high, higher low, lower high is the same thing, just inverse it, meaning you're trading higher high, higher low, right? You see price giving you higher high, boom, you're looking for a higher low to be set. When do you know that the higher low is going to be set? Everybody wants to catch a trade at the tippity bottom, right? The market is not always going to give you the entry to catch it all the way at the bottom, right? So what is the market going to give you? The market is always going to give you at the higher low point, right? Is going to give you, and let's zoom in here real quick, right? The market is always going to give you lower low, lower high, lower low, boom, change of character. Higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, break of structure. At the next higher low point, this is where I'm getting in to target these highs over here, right? For then price to give you the continuation. It gives you another higher high point, right? Gives you, sorry, a higher low point. And you're looking for the same thing, lower low, lower low, boom, change of character, higher high. Higher low, boom, break of structure. At this higher low is where I'm looking to get in to target these highs over here. That's what we're looking for, right? And then same thing, lower low and lower high, right? If price is making lower lows and lower highs, at the lower high point, you want to look for the trades, right? So at the higher high point, or I'm sorry, at the lower high point, all you're looking for is a change of character, lower low, break of structure, right? You're looking for the change of character, lower low, lower high, break of structure, lower low, lower high, to get in here to target these lows over here, to then continue. Break of structure, boom, lower high. At the lower high, you're looking for what? Lower lows and lower high, change of character, break of structure on the 30-minute time frame to get in to target the lows again. So it's just the same thing. You're repeating the same process, right? It's the same process on every single pair, right? So with that being said, once again, on EuroCAD, where are we? Right? We understand that for EuroCAD, and once again, let's go back to the daily. This is still a pair on peak high, but I'm still going to give this example, right? We're at the lower high point. We know we're at a lower high point. Now, how do we know that this is going to be the lower high point? Is once the 30-minute gives you that change of character, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, boom. Lower low, change of character. I'm looking for a lower high point to be made. Then I'm looking for the break of structure to be given, another lower low point, to then get in at the lower high to continue these downtrend pushes down to the bottom. Without that break of structure, price could do the exact same thing that it did here. It gave you the change of character, lower low, faked everybody out who thought that this was going to be the retest of the shoulder head shoulder, because it's a downtrend pattern. All these traders who got into these trades here going short, because they did not wait for the break of structure, straight to stop loss, back to the top side. Let me know if that makes sense, Mikey. What if we're looking for a 30-minute higher low to be made? Which time frame to look for a confirmation? The 5-minute? Yeah, same thing. You go down to the lower time frame. So like now on the 30-minute, and I'll give you the example. I'll draw it out as well. Right? Let's say on the 30-minute, you have, let's go to the actual chart. Right? You had the change of character, you had the break of structure. Right? After the break of structure, let's mark this up real quick here. Right? It's not that good of an example because you had this was pretty much just like a retest. But we'll go down, right? You'll go to the 5-minute time frame. Right? And then like I said, here's not really that good of an example because this is literally just higher high, higher low, higher high. You were just looking for that retest here, right? So not a good example, but same thing. You go down to the 5 minute time frame, right? Once you go down to the 5 minute or the 1 minute, if you go down to the 1 minute here, you'll have a little bit more structure to play with, and we'll just zoom in here so we can see it, right? You had lower low, lower high, lower low, right? You had the smaller points here, low, lower low, boom, higher high, higher low. Then you had higher high, higher low, and price continued, right? So here's where you had the change of character. Here's where you had the break of structure, and price continued the entire time, right? It tapped into it, triple bottom, to then continue. And then not only that, in the same area, you also had that 1 hour engulfing candle that was at these lows. So same thing. If you're looking for 30-minute structure, after a higher high is set on the 30-minute, you go into the 5 minute time frame, 1 minute time frame to look for that internal shift, that change, that break at the higher low point to then continue back up into a higher high. Euro USD daily time frame. Euro USD, I still have this marked up as the second zone consolidation going into the third push. I don't really like where this is at, but it's making sense, right? We had push one, first zone consolidation, push number two, second zone consolidation, and this is where price has been rejecting highs, rejecting lows, going high, going low, going back to the highs, rejecting the highs once again, going low, rejecting the lows again, and looks like price wants to continue. So again, at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on an uptrend, this is what our safety trade is. We still have that gap at the top of the market. Perfect. Right? No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4 hour, same thing. No continuations. We had a 4 hour change of character, which could be again just the inducement. So now what I'm looking for, going down into the 30-minute time frame after the inducement, I'm looking for a change of character and a break of structure back to the top side to then look for a trade. Right? So we know we had the change of character, higher high, higher low. Price gave us a higher high, but it did not give us a valid break. It gave us the inducement. Then price came back down and gave us a lower low change of character. Then price came back up. And what did it give us? The change of character again, back to the top side. No problem. We already have our zone. We already know what we're looking for. Right? So we have a change of character now to the top side. So what am I looking for? Back at the top, all of this is part of the same structure on the 30-minute time frame. We want to see price give us a valid break of these highs to continue. We also already have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So right now, for EU, not really liking it, right? This is already a pair for me that's low probability. Low probability for them to give us a valid trade. Now, again, could we go down to lower time frames? Absolutely. On the lower time frame, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low change of character down to the bottom. And you could keep yourself in check, right? If you're getting anxious to get into a trade on EU and you're like, oh, I want to get into a trade, just follow market structure on the lower time frame. If you see that price gives you an inducement of the 5 minute low, and then we start seeing price go up, you know you could take that trade. And why are people getting anxious taking trades on AU? Because what does this look like? Right? And somebody in the chat, I'll give you 30 seconds in the chat to answer the question. Looking at EU, what type of traders are looking to get into this trade right now? Just looking at what we could see from the previous day. What type of structure do we see being played out on EU? Yeah, I'm looking at EuroCAD 1 hour. I'm just so lost, but it looks like a trend shift to the downside, but it looks like it's consolidating. ECAD. We'll go back to ECAD now. Kendall says it looks like a flag post pattern, 23.6, 38.2 retracement. Anybody else has an answer? I'll give you another 20 seconds. No other answers in the chat? Come on, guys. market candle is right. Right? This is a trade that a lot of traders who trade flag post patterns, this is what they're looking for, right? And they'll have their fib from here to here. They'll be looking for a retracement between 23.6 and 38.2. Same exact thing. Just because price went into the point of interest, just because price tapped into the fib, just because price tapped into the EMA, whatever it is that you're looking for, does that mean I'm getting into a trade right away? No. This is where now on the 5-minute time frame, on the 1-minute time frame, we'll be looking for the market structure, right? How are you taking a long position when price is still giving you lower lows and lower highs? It doesn't make any sense, right? Now, if price in this area gives us an inducement of the 5-minute low, and then on the 1-minute time frame it starts giving us that higher high, higher low that we want to see, or even on the 5-minute if it gives us the change in the break back to the top side, then we take the trade back to the top. That's not what I'm expecting on EU right now. So on to the next one. Oh well, let's go back to ECAD. I'm looking at the 1 hour again. I don't really use the 1 hour time frame, right? The 1 hour time frame, I only really use it to look for engulfing candles. But when I'm looking at structure, I'm looking at the 30 minutes. So the 1 hour, there's really nothing to talk about. But like, Mikey, what question do you have? Because like for example, you're saying ECAD looks like it's consolidating, but it's not, right? When you're looking at it on the 30 minute, you have days where it is consolidating, right? Like for example, you had this week here where price was consolidating, right? You have this week here where price was consolidating, which is okay, right? Because again, remember that the market only has two moves, either a trend, which is higher highs and higher lows, lower lows or lower highs, or a zone of consolidation, right? And the entire time, price was just trending, right? We had higher high, higher low, boom, higher high. Instead of price just giving you a simple higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, it gave you higher high, zone of consolidation, right? Boom, break of structure of the zone of consolidation, higher high, higher low, right? At the higher low, it gave you another zone of consolidation. Then what did it give you, right? Another higher high point to the top side. Let me know if you had like a specific question to that. But the 1 hour, again, I can't really give you anything on the 1 hour because I don't use the 1 hour. The 1 hour, using it for structure just doesn't make sense. You could, again, because it follows is the same exact chart as a 30-minute, but the 30-minute gives you just a little bit more information. But we still didn't make a 30-minute BOS. Why even look at the 1 minute? Correct, because you're looking, again, I don't want to confuse you. I know you're still a little bit brand new. But again, remember, different entry models for different entry models have different things you want to look at. So yes, even though we didn't make that BOS or break on the 30-minute, right? On the 30-minute, we just have the change of character, right? But if you were looking for another entry model, which was what I explained with the flag post pattern, right? This is where a lot of traders would be looking for that trade. Me personally, am I looking for this trade here? No. Why? Because I already know the rules, right? A change of character could just still be an inducement. So that's number one. Number two, we have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Right. So again, me personally, I'm not looking to take this trade. Me personally, this is a trade where I'm letting it go. I don't want to mess with this. Now, if price decides to give us this entry, cool. If it gives us that break of structure, this is where I'll start looking to take the trade. Because I understand that my target, my first TP target that I'm looking for, where I'm looking for price to reach, is the top of where this gap is at. So I'm okay with missing this trade because I'll catch this one, and this trade is the one that's gonna give me is gonna give me that push to go into where that gap is at the top of the market. So what I was just explaining again, yes, we didn't have the valid break, but that's just another entry model that people use. So I was just giving the reasonings and the example as to what you would be looking for in this instance with a flag post pattern entry. For GA, this is another pair similar to what was it, EA, I believe, or ECAD. um, where we're in peak high. Price finally gave us that change of character down to the downside, right? So again, what I'm looking for on GA before I even trade it is going to be a valid break of the lows, a valid break of structure after the change of character to confirm the shift in the overall trend. On the 4 hour time frame, we had a 4 hour change of character. We had the 4 hour break of structure, lower low, lower high, lower low. So the 4 hour already gave us a change and it gave us the break, which is perfect. So now I'm waiting for the daily time frame to do the same thing before I start looking to take trades. On the 30-minute, we also had the change of character, lower low, lower high, and it also gave us the break of structure. So the 30, the 4 hour, both gave us the confirmations we want to see to continue these downtrend pushes. The only thing that still hasn't given us a confirmation is the daily time frame. So we have the break of structure that happened here. And we are now trading between these lows. We had 2 days of drop. On the third day, price gave us a day of drop. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. So we'll be patient with GA. Hey brother, just passing through. It's been so long. What's good, Albert? What was the stream, my brother? Mikey said, okay, so looking at the 30-minute, I see the dip where the price went down. Then it looks like it's going to be a higher high, higher low, because it looks like it's going towards the uptrend. Sorry, looking at the charts is my biggest weakness, starting to understand patterns and other stuff. I just get blank. No, it's all good. Yeah, it's a lot to look at, trust me. Are you still looking at EURUSD specifically, which is what you're seeing? Okay. Yeah. Like I said, right now for EURUSD, right? Let's go back to it. Don't get too caught up on the 30-minute. Why do I say that? It's very important to be able to look at the overall picture. Because again, I'll draw it out one more time. Right now on EURUSD, what do we see? Right, on EURUSD we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, then price gave you a lower low. Right, and then it gave you a lower high point. On the daily time frame, again, the daily is yellow. On the 30-minute time frame, right? So let's mark it up like this as well. Let's do this. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? Then price gives you a lower low. After a lower low is set, what does price need to do? It needs to give you a lower high point, right? A lower high point is price moving from the bottom of the market to the top side, right? So when price is moving up, what do you see? You see higher highs and higher lows, right? So on the 30 minutes, again, let's get rid of this real quick. So on the daily time frame, we understand that right now, price moving up is because we're going into a lower high point, right? So understanding that, yes, even though on the 30-minute time frame, we see higher highs and higher lows, we understand that these pushes to the top side. Let's zoom it out, right? Let's zoom this out on the 30. We understand that lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? We understand that this uptrend that we see here on the 30-minute time frame is price moving from the lower low point into a lower high point. So once you understand, like, okay, cool, we're at the highs where the lower high could be set. This is now where on the 30-minute and the lower time frames, you'll be looking for the turnaround. So again, at this point, I'm gonna keep it marked this way, where we have this small little time frame, this small move here, higher high, higher low, higher high. This is the change, but I wouldn't mark it up that way. I would simply mark this up that all of this is part of the same trend, where we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. This is how I would do it to keep it more simple. Um, give the stream a thumbs up, guys. Thank you, Albert. Yes, please. So after a higher high, a higher low, the reversal will always have to be. Then reversal will there always have to be lower low, lower high point? Yeah, always, right? Because once again, for in order for price, you're on the uptrend, right? In order for price to give you a higher high, higher low point, in order for price to give you a higher low point, price has to give you the lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame. And then in order for price to go from a higher low point back into a higher high, you need to see price giving you higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame. If price goes to the higher low point and price continues to make lower lows and lower highs, then you know that price isn't going to continue that uptrend push. Or vice versa. If price is on a lower low, lower high, and at the lower high, price just continues to make higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, you understand that price is just going to continue that push to the top side. And if at the lower high point you start seeing price give you lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame, you know that price is going to continue that trend. Right? Again, I know it's a little bit difficult to be able to see, especially when it's your first time on the chart, especially if you've never really dealt with market structure. I know it's difficult. It's going to be difficult to see that, but it's really not that hard. Like once you see it, you see it, you see it. There's no going back. But I know it's difficult to see at first. What pair were we on? Kendall, do you remember? Kendall not even here, man. He bullshitting. He's not even in the fucking Discord. That's crazy work. What damn bro, what pair were we on? We did GA, we did EU, we did GA. Alright, we didn't do GCAP. I'm locked? No, you're not, man. Are we allowed to hop in Discord to ask questions? I usually don't do that just because these sessions already take so long. Um, that's why I would rather you guys keep the questions in the chat so then everybody could follow along with it as well. You know what I mean? So then everybody could go back. Because what I like about the chat too is the people who are watching the recording, since we have a few people who watch the recording, they could see your chats and your questions. They could see your questions in the chat on the live stream as well. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I try to keep it in the chat as well. Jessica, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. I can't access GateFX demo via the app except through a browser. Have you experienced the same thing? No, to be honest, I don't even use it on the app. I'm gonna be honest with you. I only use it on my computers where I'm signed in on. If GateFX is giving you a problem, yeah, exactly. Try HeroFX and see if it's the same thing with HeroFX. One of the downsides of watching the recording is that you can't interact instantly with things you're confused about, unlike on the streams. Yeah, 100%, I agree. I would say that's the best thing about doing the streams as well. And again, that's why I always say like, if you can make it out to the streams, that's the best time to do it because you guys could ask questions in real time. I'm here, I'm locked, right? Again, these streams are for you guys. You guys see it. Like, if you guys are in the chat, I don't mind doing a 2 hour session. I don't mind. And you guys see it all the time. Like the time that we have people on the chat, that's the times where the streams are an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. But if nobody's in the chat, I'm just flying through it. I'm just updating my charts how I need to do it, and that's it. That's why I like when you guys are in the chat. It's interactive. You guys are able to ask the questions. I'm able to answer it. I'm able to go back, right? Make sure that you guys have everything locked in. Right? I don't mind going back that you guys saw. Yeah, we were at GCAD and I went back to ECAD just to give an example, right? Just to clarify the things that people were confused about. Like I don't mind doing that on the stream. I really don't. I'll try that. Thank you guys. No problem, Albert. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if that one works. But I really have no clue what gates affects on the app. I don't use the app to be honest with you. Missing the charts so bad. You gotta get back on, man. You gotta get back on. So once again, I'll give everybody another 20 seconds. Any questions so far? Anything you want me to clear up? Anything at all you guys want me to go over or explain again before we go ahead and continue with the other pairs? Let me know. We're pretty much already end or we're getting to the end of the list already, guys. So you guys already know pretty much everything after GU, US 30, gold, Bitcoin, oil, and silver. I'll talk about it if I need to, but those are pairs that I just look at in the morning when I'm trading. I try not to give up a lot of information on those pairs. Just because, again, a lot of you guys in here are still novice traders, right? I want you, for the ones who are taking this seriously, I want you guys to focus on the smaller moving pairs first. Because if it's difficult for you to see market structure on a pair like AU or EU that moves 40, 50 pips, imagine being able to see market structure on a pair like US 30, gold, and Bitcoin that move 200, 300 pips on a day to day basis, right? Similar to GJ. GJ is a pair that moves 140 pips on a day to day basis. That's why I say you know you'll be ready to move on to the bigger pairs if you're able to do the same thing on GJ. But again, the first thing is first, you guys need to be able to see all of this on the lower time frames before you go to the bigger pairs. Um, yeah, that helps me a lot though. I know this will be a conversation. What time frame would be decent for a beginner? Um, honestly, like the easiest time frame is the higher time frames because there's less information, right? So being able to see the higher highs and higher lows in the market makers pattern on the daily time frame, right? So if you're able to, the first thing is being able to see market structure on the daily time frame and the 4 hour time frame, right? Because it's bigger moves, is it's you don't have to zoom in, you don't have to look at the candle. It's super simple on the daily time frame and the 4 hour time frame. Does Adrian? I know this. What? Does Adrian still show up on the stream? Yeah, he's in and out. He still shows up for the most part. I wouldn't say every single stream, but he'll at least interact. Like I know he's active because he interacts in the Discord and stuff like that. But I also haven't been active with the streams. There hasn't really been a lot to talk about. This is the first long stream I think in like 2 weeks or something, 2 3 weeks almost. But again, guys, please like the stream if you can. We'd appreciate it. All right, so let's keep moving forward. So GCAD, currently right now still level 3, and in level 3 we were stuck in a zone consolidation. We went back to the lows. So once again, we already know we're looking for those long positions back to the top side. We had 3 weeks of rise. On the third week, price gave us a rise no net. We were expecting that fourth week push to the top side, which we did already, which is perfect. 30-minute time frame. Look at structure. We had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then price gave us another higher high point. So we know that we're trading between these higher lows down here and this higher high over here. All the way to the top side. We also had 2 days of rise. Today being the third day, price gave us a third day push to the top side. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So GCAD, we'll skip over that. GJ, that's good to know. What's good, Kendall? Yeah, it was good, Kendall. Yo, Kendall's not locked. GJ, we're still in peak high territory, right? So I'm just looking for continuations, looking to see where price wants to go from here on GJ. GJ is a pair for me where I'm not really trading this actively. but we have the 4 hour change of character down to the downside, lower low, lower high. Once again, we're pretty much just waiting it out, waiting to see what price wants to do. Give us confirmations of continuations and it'll be simple, right? So it gave us a change of character and it finally gave us the break of structure to the top side. The beginning of the session gave us a higher high, higher low, right? So I'm gonna mark this up as this is where price gave us the higher high, higher low, and we are trading between these lows down here, this higher low point, and these higher high points over here. Dude. We also have 2 days of rise. Today being the third day, gave us the third day. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. This is going to be a good pair to keep an eye on. If you have any engulfing candles, nothing just yet. Nothing on the 1, nothing on the 4, nothing on the 30, nothing on the 15. On the 5 minute, when we're looking at structure, we're trading between the same parameters, the same highs and lows. When we're looking at the 1 minute, it looks like it might be the same thing too. I don't want to get too mixy with this on the 1 minute time frame. Come on, load up. On the 1 minute time frame, pretty much the same thing. If I want to get aggressive on the 1 minute, um, if I want to get aggressive on the 1 minute, we'll say that this is where the change of character happened: lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. But we'll stick with this on the 30. We'll stick with this on the 30 and the 5 minute. And once again, this could already be as well at the top of the zone, shoulder, head, shoulder. So this could be a good one to keep an eye on as well, GJ. GU, daily time frame. We are in same thing as EU. You know, could we say that we are in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push back to the top side? Once again, we had push 1 for zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, look for push number 3 back to the top side. It could be back at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. This is our safety trade. This is where we'll be looking for those change and breaks back to the top side. We had 2 weeks of counter drop, right? Where again, price was just going down for 2 weeks. And then on the 30-minute, price gave us big zones, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we got another change of character back to the top side. So perfect. We already know what we're looking for. After the change of character, I want to see the break of structure. Change of character happened here. So we're trading between these lows and these highs. We have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So we already know I'm looking for that valid break before looking to take any trades back to the top side. We're pretty much again done for the stream, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. These last couple pairs, US 30 gold, Bitcoin, oil, and silver. I'm gonna update them real quick. Not really gonna give my full analysis on them unless I need to. The 4 hour time frame, we had low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. We have a 4 hour change. And this is like a very like tight 4 hour zone that I have drawn here, but that's okay. We'll keep it this way for now. It is moving a lot. And then on the 30-minute, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then it gave us another change of character back to the top side. And we're trading between all of this is part of the same trend. Looking for price to give us a valid break. Tapped into it, gave us an exhaustion candle. We have a day of rise. We have a gap here. Gap was filled. Okay. We'll be patient with US 30. NZD USD. I'll go over NZD USD. Give me a second. Gold, exactly what we talked about yesterday. Gave us 2 days of rise. On the third day, gave us a rise, no nut. Since we're in peak high, I'm just gonna mark this as a no nut. Nothing else to mark here. 30-minute zones are fucking huge as well. Still just lower low, lower high point. And then on the 5-minute, similar, we could do the same thing. Low, lower, high, low, lower, high, lower, low. And that's a no net. So again, a no net is when the market opens and closes in the same area. So you see the opening candle, for example, on this day, which was Monday on the 30th, right? The opening candle for Monday and the closing candle of Monday going into Tuesday. Since the candles opened and closed in the same exact area, it's just a no net. Price didn't go up for the day, didn't go down for the day. It's in the same spot. It's in the same area, right? So the R's again for the rise, that price went up. The drop is the D, right? It closed below, and then a no nut once again, the opening candle and the closing candle, right? So the opening candle, which is 6 p.m., which is here. The opening candle for the next day, which is 6 p.m., is here. You can see that they're touching, right? So if the opening candles are touching, it's a no nut. Price didn't go up, it didn't go down. It's in the same area. Bitcoin back at 70. We have the change of character. We have the break of structure to the top side, right? It gave us a little retest. It gave us that third inducement push to the top side. So we'll be patient with Bitcoin as well. We had 2 days of rise. On the third day, it gave us a no nut, a rise no nut. And then it gave us another day of rise. And then we were expecting price to either move sideways or go down, and it went down. We'll be patient with the BTC, man. BTC, BTC, BTC. Oil gave us a day of drop, gave us 2 days of drop. Could we be expecting a 372? Man, I don't know. I hope so. I haven't taken a fucking oil trade in so long. My God. Let's go back to the daily real quick, see where we're at with this. So we're back at the highs again. Back at the highs. We had 3 months of rise. After 3 months of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So that's what I'll be expecting for this month. We had 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week, gave us that third week hit. Then price plummeted back down to the bottom. 30-minute. Don't really have nothing here. Lower time frame, don't have anything either. 1-minute time frame. Get mixy in the 1 minute with this. Right, low, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high, lower, low. Then price gave us higher, high, change of character. Then it gave us low, lower, high, lower, low, high, lower, low. Then price gave us a change of character, higher, high, higher, low. Then gave us a higher, high again, break of structure, higher, low. So we'll be patient with oil. I sent a video on Discord trying to explain things. If you could address after stream, that's cool. I got you. We'll do it in the stream, and I'll also answer Infernal's questions on the stream too. And then silver just gave us 3 days where price has been moving sideways. Right. Is it better for is it better on the stream, or do you want me to do it privately? Let me know. So Inferno's question was for the zones of consolidation, right? So, Inferno, if you're still in the chat, let me know, and then we'll yeah NZD USD. I'll do that now. So NZD USD, NZD USD. Yeah, you're crazy. It don't matter. I rather be off stream, but if you think it'll help someone, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, here, okay. Inferno, I'll go over your question first, as your question is pretty simple. And then Mikey, yeah, I'll do it on streams. I think it's not only would it be better for everybody else too, just in case somebody else has a question, but also for you, right? So you'll be able to go over, if you need to rewatch the video, you could always do that as well. You can keep that for your notes. So, NZD USD, we're still in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third and final push back down to the bottom. I'm not gonna mark up the months because I'm not doing all that right now. Back at the lows, 4 hour time frame. Where are we? Fuck. Man, I'm gonna have to mark this shit again. 4 hour lows. High, low, high. Then price gave us. Okay, I found myself. It gave us a change of character, right? Lower low, right? So we know that this could be a lower high point. We had 2 weeks of drop. Then price gave us a third week low, and it finished on a slight rise. Right. Then on the 30, you had lower low, and then you had the change of character, higher high. And same thing, if you want to be aggressive with it and say that this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, or even saying that this is higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Gave you the inducement up here, and then we start seeing a change. This could be a good one to keep an eye on as well. Since we're in that 4 hour lower high point, right? And then on the daily, once again, daily just kind of sucks that we're back in this area here that we've been just treading since fucking last year of May. We're just in the same area. This could be a good one. Right? We have the 50 crossing below the 200 on the daily. You have the exhaustion candle. Daily time or 4 hour time frame, we broke below the 800. We're retesting it, right? Which was also the inducement, that change of character back down to the lower low. This could be the lower high point, right? So same exact situation, right? 5 minute is going to be nice on NZD USD though, for sure. You have the change of character, lower low. And we're just looking for that break of structure back down to the bottom. This is the area I'll start looking to look for that break. I've had NZD USD turned off for like 7 months now, long ass time. We're just stuck in the zone of consolidation. Well, last time I marked it up, let's see, was in February, so 2 3 months. Um, but Inferno, to answer your question, since it was pretty much a zone of consolidation. So a zone of consolidation, you have multiple variations of what it looks like, right? At the end of the day, it's still just sideways movement, right? A zone of consolidation is either going to be equal lows and equal highs, right? You have another zone of consolidation where price is just giving you, right, crazy movements, right? But there's no trend. It's just still rejecting the highs and rejecting the lows, right? You have another zone of consolidation, which is a TFR. TFR stands for trap falls real, where it's trap false real, right? You have another variation of a zone of consolidation, which is the shoulder head shoulder, or sorry, right? Shoulder head shoulder, right? But it's all the same thing, just all still sideways movement. So very similar to EU, right? Where in the zone of consolidation, you could still see price giving you higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? You could still see price giving you higher highs and higher lows, but within those higher highs, price is still just tapping in to the daily highs. It's not giving you valid breaks, right? It's going to the highs, going back to the low, going to the highs, going back to the lows. Again, giving you a rejection of the highs to do what? Go back to the lows. Right, so that's pretty much covers your question. Right. Again, it all depends on the variation that the market is giving you. Right. Again, a zone of consolidation isn't always going to be equal lows and equal highs. Right. But it's always going to be sideways movement. We could see here that it's sideways movement. There's no trend. Right. Price is giving you higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Right. That's not a trend. A trend is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? A trend isn't higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, lower low, right? Higher high, lower low, higher high. You see what I'm saying? Like in a zone of consolidation, you're always going to see market giving you higher highs, lower lows, but it's not a trend, right? A trend is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. You see what I'm saying? Um, I was also looking at the GJ video. I know we talking about the other pair. Also, I was looking at GJ. Oh, I got you. No, no problem, my brother. I see. It's just hard to see if it's not equal highs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to see it, especially if it's one of the variations. But again, once you know the variations and once you see it, it'll be a lot easier to catch on to it. So a consolidation is price not trending or trending but not making valid breaks. Correct. Right. A zone of consolidation is sideways movement. It's inducements. Once again, a zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are inducing traders to get into a trade to hunt for their stop losses. So yeah, again, a zone of consolidation is when price is not giving you valid breaks; it's giving you inducements. Right? Sometimes it's equal highs and equal lows. Sometimes it's a trap falls real. Sometimes it's a shoulder head shoulder. Great explanation, no problem. And that was a great question, yeah. All right, so let me watch Mikey's video real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I see where you're getting a headache from. So, Mikey, let me know if you're still in here. And this is good for everybody. So his thing is just being able to see higher highs and higher lows and not get trapped into it. So just make it easy for yourself, right? This is why you see that I have the um the trend line tool, right? It's gonna be, and this is gonna be your homework. So starting off for where you were at on the video, right, which is like February. Let's do the beginning of February here. Right? So your homework is gonna be, and this is for everybody who's learning market structure. Use the trend line tool, right? You don't gotta zoom in too much. Just use the trend line tool, right? And do what? Lower low, lower high. Price goes down, boom, lower low, right? Then it went lower high, gave you another lower low point, right? On the 30-minute, it gave you another low. So now you know you're trading between these highs and these lows, right? Then price came up and gave you a change of character higher high. So now you know that you're trading between this high, right, and this low. Then price came down and gave you a change of character. Lower low, back down to the downside. So now you know you're trading between this high and this low, right? Then what did price do? Right? It then gave you a break of structure, higher high. Right? So now you know that you're trading higher high. Right? And all of this is part of the same trend, right? So from here, boom. So now you know you're trading higher high, higher low. Right? Then price at the higher high gave you all of this pushes the same thing. All of this part of the same trend. So you're trading between this high and this low. Then price gave you the change of character. Right? Same thing, all of this part of the same structure here. Right? So it gave you the change of character. 30-minute change of character. So now you're trading between this high, right, and these lows down here. Right? Price didn't break the high, or let's ignore this here. Right? Price never broke the lows. Did it break the lows here? Let's see. Yeah, with this wick here. Right? Gave you the inducement. So now you know you're trading between this high and these lows. Then price gave you that change of character that we had marked up there. Boom. Right? Then price continued. Right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Same thing, right? Higher low. Then price gave you higher high, right? Higher low. Gave you this high over here. Right? Then it gave you a lower low, change of character. So same thing. Now you change this to a change of character, change this to red, and now you know you're trading between these lows, right, and these highs. Then price gave you that wick here at the bottom. This wick gave you these highs. Right? You can see that I have this all marked as one move, but it's all it'll come up to the same thing. Right? This is where price just moved sideways and then boom, we went right back down to the bottom. Right? And the same thing. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Higher high, higher low. Price never broke these lows. At these highs, boom, we had them here. Right? So gave us a change of character higher high. From here to here, the lowest point is where that higher low is going to be, which is down here. Right? Gave you the push to the top side, all the way to the top side, higher high, higher low to where we're at now. Right? So we now know that we're trading between this higher low point and this higher high point over here. So just keep it simple. Like the easiest way to go through market structure, especially when you're on the lower time frame, but it doesn't matter whatever time frame you're on, the daily, the 4 hour, the 30, just mark it up with the trend line tool. Right? Mark it up with the trend line tool. So now you know. Right? Now you know exactly where you're at. You know that everything between this high and this low, all of this was just internal structure on the lower time frame. That's the easiest way to go about it when you're doing market structure. So your homework is to do this on, for now, just do it on GJ since we were on. I just did it for you on GJ, so it should be easy homework. But do it on this pair. Take a screenshot or send a video, whatever is easier for you, and then send it to me. That'll be your homework. And then everybody else's homework, same thing. If you're still having trouble with market structure, your homework for tonight or your homework for this week. I'll give you guys the week. is to do mark up market structure on your time frame, on the 30-minute time frame. Higher highs and higher lows with the trend line. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? Let me know if I answered your question, Mikey. Let me know if I answered your question, Inferno. Jessica, since you're back, let me know if you have any questions, anything you want me to explain. Kendall, let me know if you're good. Any other specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. If not, that's it for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. I'll be up. I'll let you guys know if I have any if there's any trades for tomorrow morning. We'll be up. We'll turn the stream on. We'll do what we gotta do. We gotta get back on it though. I gotta start turning these streams back on. You guys good in the chat? I'll give you another 30 seconds before we turn the stream off, just in case. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. We'll be back tomorrow. Again, 7 a.m. for the live trading session, 7 p.m. for the isolation session. Any other questions, let me know. Any other specific pairs you guys want me to go over, anything you guys want me to explain, let me know. Looks like you guys are good in the chat. Make sure you guys like the stream, please. Press the like button. Alright, guys. You sent another video? Gotcha. I haven't gotten it yet. There you go. Okay, so to answer your question, right? No. You don't want to put your trend line. This is on March 31st. So like exactly how I have here is what I'm saying. Like the easiest way to go about it, like just so you can start off, like look where I have mine. Right? Why are you putting your trend line somewhere here? It doesn't make any sense, right? You're trading between this low, right? This is the lower low, this is the lower high point. Right? It's the highest point and the lowest point on the structure. Right? Once price gives you the lower low, right? Your next trend line should be down here, right? This is the lowest point, right? To this high still. Then this is where price gave you the higher high, the highest point, right? So now you know that you're trading between this low, this lower low point, and this higher high point, right? So then the same thing. Then price gave you another higher high point here. So now your next trend line should be at the highest point here, and then the lowest point between the break, right? The lowest point between here and here is here. This is the higher low that was made, right? So then this is where price went down, gave you a higher low, right? Because it's higher than this low, higher low point, to go where? To go back up and gave you this higher high here, right? And then the same thing. Then price gave you the higher high point into the higher low point. So your trend line should be here at the higher low and then here at this higher high. Then price continued the trend, right? All the way to the top side, to here, to this higher high, this higher low. So your trend line should be at the low, right? The break between here and here, this is the lowest point, back to the top side. So your trend line should be at the higher high point, which is the highest point, and these lows. And now you know that on the 30-minute time frame, you're trading between this higher low and this higher high up here. Right? Let me know if that made sense. And that was just the beginning of the video, so I'm gonna watch it. That was 16 seconds in. Oh, well, that's like the only thing I could say because then everything else on the video is just wrong, right? Because again, this is February 10th. So let me go back here real quick. Right? February 10th. Right? So same thing with what you were with your where you were using the path tool, right? Where you have your path tool saying that this is lower low, lower high, right? If we just take just a tiny step back, right? You see how big the structure is here, right? That's why when you mark up, I try to go back as far as possible. But when you look up at the markups, you had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Then price came up and gave you a change of character back to the top side, up here, higher high. Then price gave you a lower low change of character. And this is where price then started making those internal, right? Those smaller 30-minute moves. So even drawing your path tool here is incorrect because we're not trading. That's all internal structure on the 30-minute time frame, right? So you would be using now, right? If you want to use the path tool, this is where you start using lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, lower low, right? Then from this lower low, it did higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, right? Then it gave you the lower high point, right? From this lower high point, gave you another lower low. Then it gave you higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then it gave you lower low, right? Then it gave you um, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then it gave you the higher highs. Right? And then from here, price was just moving sideways up until where? Here. It gave you lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low to where we're at now. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. You answered it basically? Okay, perfect. Any other questions, guys? Let me know. After this, I'm gonna go eat. Go to bed, man. Yeah, I'm just going way too far ahead instead of reading what's behind it to mark it up first. Yeah, you wanna go back at least a little bit in order to catch yourself like where you're at, right? So again, like this is why I always say it. Like the best thing to do is gonna be, especially in the beginning, it's exactly what I did. Like you'll mark up every single chart you have. Mark it up exactly how I have mine, right? That way you at least have the foundation. Like, okay, this is where we're at right now. Let me start modifying it. The market is gonna move, right? Let me start modifying it as the market moves. That's the best way and the easiest way to go about it, right? Before 7 p.m. hits, right? Before I turn the stream on, your job is to mark up your charts, right? The ideal way to go about this is mark up your charts, update your charts before I turn the stream on. As I'm doing the stream and as I'm going through everything and all the explanations, check to see if you did your homework correctly, right? Check to see if you did your markups correctly. If you didn't do your markups correctly, ask. Be like, yo, I didn't mark this up the same way you have it. I marked it up this way. and that way I'll be able to give you the example and the reason as to why you did it incorrectly or why you did it the right way. You get what I'm saying? That's going to be the easiest way to go about it. And again, I said this earlier. GJ is a very big pair, right? Compared to AU, EU, GA, EA, right? Compared to those smaller currency pairs, GJ is one of the biggest ones. So I'll even say that GJ is going to be one of the hardest forex pairs to mark up as a beginner trader. That's why I always recommend start off with EU, start off with AU. They're small pairs, they don't move as crazy comparing it to GJ. Right, that's why you don't really see me mark up. That's why you don't really see me trade GJ that much. Any other questions, guys? Let me know. I'll give you another 30 seconds in the chat. If there's no more questions, we'll be done for the night. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. I'm just what? Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I read that all. All right, guys. Hope you all have a great rest of your night. Any other questions? Feel free to message me on Discord, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your night. Peace out. I got a lot of homework to do. I'll start with EuroCAD, but yeah, it's perfect. And again, any questions, my brother, just let me know. All right, guys. Peace out.